Good morning. Welcome to a series on prayer, part 2. And I feel I ought to do a little health warning right at the beginning. It's so important to pray as you can and not as you can't. So how you pray is good, is fine. Now I'm telling you how I pray, not to tell you you ought to pray like me, but this is what I've learned in, 60 years. I've not really been a person of faith all those years, but the sort of last 45 years, certainly. What I've learned, and just take what you will from that. But don't feel you've got to pray like me, because believe me, praying like me is not all that is wonderful. Sunny again today. I feel a bit gloomy in the distance, but I think it's the way the camera is. If I come into the sun, then maybe I'm better like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll move a little bit forward and see how that works. Right. Oh, I was going to put my dog collar on as well, wasn't I? All right. See how organised I am. So I'm going to use the wonderful Psalm 46, which contains the famous words, "Be still and know that I am God." Except I'm reading from the CEV, Contemporary English Version, and it's different, but I think powerfully different. So, whole of Psalm 46. God is our mighty fortress, always ready to help in times of trouble. And so we won't be afraid. Let the earth tremble and the mountains tumble into the sea. Let the ocean roar and foam, and its raging waves shake the mountains. A river and its streams bring joy to the city, which is the sacred home of God Most High. God is in that city, and it won't be shaken. He will help it at dawn. Nations rage, kingdoms fall, but at the voice of God, the earth itself melts. The Lord all-powerful is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, see the fearsome things the Lord has done on earth. God brings wars to an end all over the world. He breaks the arrows, shatters the spears, and burns the shields. Our God says, "Calm down and learn that I am God. All the nations on earth will honour me." The Lord all-powerful is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Just reading that, there's so much there for us in this tumultuous time where it feels like the earth trembling, the mountains tumbling into the deepest sea, the ocean, which is in Hebrew scriptures, the Old Testament, a sign of sort of chaos and disorder. So the ocean roar and foam. It's very much, read the psalm, maybe pick it up and read it for yourself, because it talks about what things feel like, and just go with that, just what it feels like, and God bringing stillness into all of that. So, be still and know, in this version, calm down and learn that I am God. Now, I think calm down is a bit dodgy, because calm down can be very patronising, and I was thinking of David Cameron getting in hot water about sort of using a humorous quote, which was a very offensive, and I can understand why. I don't think God is ever patronising. So hear that compassionately. Calm down. Calm yourself. Be still. Learn to still yourself. because it is a learning process and we've got a lot to unlearn from our culture. I've got sort of 3 points here, but I think I'm not going to get to any of those. So maybe it'll be a video, a point. But finding stillness and finding God in stillness, I think, is at the heart of prayer. It's certainly the heart of what I've learned about prayer. So it's about learning to still, it's learning to shift the focus from our brains rattling away, the chatter of our minds. And in recent months, I've learned to sort of shift that focus down to the body rather than the mind. And I've done a couple of little prayer exercises, which I will try and sort of link with this series and badge them as prayer, because I think you might find them helpful. I mean, do tell me, because sometimes things work and sometimes they don't, and it's really helpful to know what's not working for you, because it's not your problem, and then I can perhaps adjust them and see how I could make them a little bit more applicable. So learning to find God in stillness, not silence. Someone said to me, is it okay? I have tinnitus now and I can't do silence. No. Stillness. It's finding stillness however you find stillness. And I'll talk about this a bit more as we go along. And that may be with music. I find distractions difficult, so I have to have very calm music that isn't going to engage my mind. But a number of people find their stillness through music. So it's learning what works for you. And I see the time is going. In the next video, I'll talk a little bit more about how we do that. But just letting God be God, I suppose. Bringing the tumult we feel to God, giving it to Him, and just learning to find stillness. And we can only do that in our own way. I mean, learn from others and try and see what works for you. Some of it will work, some of it won't work. Don't worry about that. Just go with what works for you. Pray as you can, not as you can't. And I'll be back again in a day or two with a bit more. Thank you, and Amen.